Someone how you can take everything, introduce themselves. Hi, I'm Michael Coffaro. I'm from San Carlos, and I am the co-LCIF coordinator for our district, 4C4. My partner is Amy Fink, but she's probably in Las Vegas right now with the training that they're having there today. So today we're going to talk about LCIF coordinator, and some of you are familiar with it, some of you are not familiar with it. I'm going to have you introduce yourselves and tell us why you're here, if you're a coordinator, and what you plan to get out of this today, Mr. Barnes.
Okay, my name is Kwong Park. I'm a Burlingame Lions member, and this is like my second time being an LCIF coordinator. I really didn't know what I was supposed to be doing except asking people for money and donations, so I figured try to learn what to do.
Okay, so actually Burlingame last year, you guys had a decent year. So, but they're gonna want everybody to increase and improve this coming year, so that's why we're here now. Ladies?
I'm Cindy Chang. I'm with the San Francisco Unified Lions Club. I'm not a coordinator, but we have a San Francisco Unified Foundation, so I want to learn more.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Lorna Dietz. I am the Marketing and Communications Chair of the San Francisco Unified Lions Club, and I'm also a member of our foundation. So we do want to learn more about LCIF so we know how to collaborate and coordinate.
So interesting, you guys have had like 3 or 4 great years in a row, actually. And I want to get back to you later on in the program, because there's money sitting in your Melvin Jones accounts and how you can use that to help recognize people in your club and stuff. And I don't think you realize that you have the money there. So, David?
Hi, I'm Dave Melchner. I'm currently the president of Peninsula Special Interest Lions Club and was past president of Foster City Lions Club, served on the cabinet several years. And I like to always learn more stuff that's valuable. So I decided to take this class because I'm the interim treasurer for a club, and once we find a treasurer, I might want to become the coordinator also.
Okay, thanks. And who's your immediate past president this year? So you don't have a coordinator right now?
No, we do not.
Who was your past president?
Last year,
Mm-hmm.
Eleanor Britter.
So in theory, if a club does not have an LCIF coordinator, usually it's the immediate past president would be in that position if your club chooses that. Billy?
Lion Billy Kamoto. I think I'm the oldest in this group. I've been with Lions for 40 plus years.
And what club are you from?
San Francisco Highlands.
Yes, 9 of 8. And so you guys will be a great club to move on up and improve this year with LCIF, and we'll get to that later on. So everybody's here because we all want to do better, and the foundation is very important to our organization, obviously. Paul?
Yes, I'm Paul actually. I've been with the Lions Club for 41 years now.
How many?
41.
41 years.
Yay!
I've been moving actually I became member in Africa when I was working there, then moved to India, then moved here. I joined this club Redwood Shore in 2009
Right.
after we migrated here from India. I've been actually in this club the coordinator a couple of times, but this year I'm not coordinator, but I still want to learn more. But I have been now having twice president, zone chairman, and I've done all those things. I'm not taking easiest job. I hope it's the easiest job to convincing the club members to do something.
And
So I just
asking
want to
people
learn
for
more.
money is always, can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
You have a very good club you're coming from, though, I know that already, so. Sophie?
My name is Sophia. I'm from the Bear Island Cyber Lions Club, and I'm going to be the incoming coordinator, so I'm here to learn more about the role.
Okay. So one thing I have to start off with is our mission, our target here. LCIF is the fundraising and grant-making arm of our global organization. Every day, LCIF works to fulfill our mission, which is to support the efforts of Lions Clubs and partners in serving communities locally and globally, giving hope and impacting lives through humanitarian service, projects, and grants. And your goal and role, if you look in your little pamphlet here, is to be a better coordinator, to educate, connect, and communicate, set a goal, and raise funds for your club that helps this organization. one thing to make sure everybody's really clear is, every dollar that comes into, that is donation, how much of it goes towards the public communities?
Hmm.
Does anybody know? Every
100?
dollar goes to, if we raise $1 million goes to, all of it goes to, we do not pay any, fees for our service people working over in Chicago, and everything goes towards our donations and helping people in need. That's one thing important when you're actually going out there asking for money and everything. That people realize, a lot of people, they hear stuff at other organizations that not everything is going towards, very little of it goes. So everything's 100% goes to our foundation and to the people. So-
Like, who's seen the original endowment, so that pays for some of the administrative costs? Where's that?
I'm not sure that we can always put that on your parking lot list right here. If you have a question. I mean, I'm sure everything is actually raised, but we have this $300 million in there, so people are investing that money, and that's how they're paying for most of the administrative stuff right there. And so since I think, go ahead, Paul.
I think every country may be having some different rules. When I joined in Africa, the system was that whatever we raise money, that year has to be finished with the same money. The next year, we used to hand over the budget to zero budget to the next committee. So they work harder to raise the money.
Right.
But I've seen actually the same is in India.
Right.
And when working, if you raise actually 1,000, you make sure you have already served for 1,000.
And that's how a lot
Hand
of,
over the zero to the next committee, so they work it.
that's
But
how
in this
like,
club I've seen, they like to raise money
And they
and
hold
keep
on.
it in a healthy
Yes.
budget. Oh, we have enough money in the bank. So I don't know why this system is a different country to
yeah,
country.
I know when I was PTA president, whatever you made that year, you were supposed to spend it.
That's what we learned actually, but I think
You were supposed to spend.
it's different here actually in Redwood Shore Club particularly.
Well, one of the questions I get, because several years ago, we had the Campaign 100, where we had a target goal of making $300 million. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
David, do you remember? I think people remember that was our big thing, is to take in $300 million. And we surpassed that by many million dollars. So my question that comes to me is, why are you asking me for money? You just raised $300 million. Well, the thing is though, why would we need more money?
You gave it away.
Haven't given it all away, but there's so many things happening in the world, natural disasters and everything.
Yeah.
That the need just keeps on coming, and we have to just keep that account growing and keep it steadily building, because it's never gonna end. I mean, I've never seen a time like this in my lifetime, where there've been so many things all over the world going, natural disasters just happening almost every single day. And LCI is there when the needs rise, and that's what our job is, to make sure that bank account keeps growing. Yes?
Quick question. So that's like the LCIF 100? So I have noticed, because I do have friends from Lions all over, they tell me about the telethons, and I'm wondering how come our district does not actively promote these telethons, or do we do our own telethons?
Well, I think maybe we haven't been very good about promoting it, so maybe that's something we have to put on our
Yeah.
list here to find out.
Telethons, yes.
And you guys come up here right on the board anytime you want. So my first remembrance of any telethon was when Jerry Lewis used to do it for the muscular dystrophy.
Oh, yes.
I didn't want to age us too much back here.
No, it's just really good, because in our club, we didn't get as much information as we would have wanted to. That's why we came here.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe that's one thing our group takes on this year, is making sure it gets promoted next June, I believe. Usually happens in June. And that's usually the last big event of the year. And I'm not sure how well it did this year. But you're right, our district did not really emphasize it enough. So that's a good question there, so that we can work on, as you talk to your clubs and bring back information, is one of the things we want to work on, is the telethons.
I think the reason why we're not hearing from the district is because we have so much money. You don't need money. That was the last time I attended. And
Well, the thing is, like the international, our international foundation, they're gonna keep trying to build that fund up, because, I mean, $300 million to us is
Yeah.
tremendous amount of money.
Yeah.
But anywhere you go in the world where there are these disasters and everything, the cost of even getting that stuff, the country's rebuilt is just astronomical. And I think already, in the state of California, they spent over $1 million of the money that we had for the wildfires.
Because the last meeting, I was offering a belated donation, and you said, no, we don't need that now.
We always need them, and as a coordinator, we help, like, I did put my information up here, because in case we run out of time tonight, this is how you can contact me. SCLionMike@yahoo.com, my phone number.
Yeah.
I put my PO box up there. The reason why I put that up there is, as coordinator, somebody may come in and they'll come and hand you a check for $50 they want to donate. And you don't want to send it around, so you might just put it in the mail and I can get it all sent out to the international. Or if you have any questions, you can contact me at any of those numbers. And hopefully we'll see people out this year. We haven't really done a good job of doing visitations the last few years.
And if we send the check to that PO box, you will allocate to that, it was the Burlington Lions Club?
Yes,
Then-
and if it's an individual member that's making it, the best thing is to put their member number on there.
Okay.
If not, though, I can look up all the information of everybody's club and their members and all. But sometimes with languages and something, it's a little hard, because pairing, everybody uses different names sometimes.
This actually, the way I understood it, if we donate and we mail you the check from personal, it will still has to go to the club? Or it will be to
Yeah,
remain as?
anything, if you're in Redwood Shores Club and you wanna donate $100,
Yeah,
that goes to your club.
okay.
It goes to your Melvin Jones, account though.
Account.
Because everybody has their own, every member can have a membership,
Okay,
has a Melvin Jones account.
okay.
And we're gonna talk a little bit about that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on this thing here we can be talking about.
Yeah.
But Melvin Jones is very, very important. We all know that's our founder, and this award in his memory and his name. And so, can you buy a Melvin Jones?
Yeah.
No,
Kenny?
he's dead.
Through donations, like you can individually donate
You
$1,000.
can. Is that good?
Yeah, why not?
Well, some people have this thing, well, that's not really to buy yourself an award, but the thing is,
You're donating.
donating the money is a service.
Right.
And so that's part of your service you do is by making your donations to the Melvin Jones. And most of the people that do buy or donate $1,000, they're also out there doing the work in the community. Almost all of them are out there. It's just another way that they can do service.
Yeah, that's true. I paid actually, when I was working, but I didn't know the system like what you're explaining now. That time I was just new, so we didn't know much. So that time, since we were working, so I managed to pay.
Yeah.
So but now I understand much really.
But one thing we want to mention though too is, so when somebody in your club has arrived at that $1,000 mark, and they want their Melvin Jones cashed in basically, the coordinator should let us know that they've reached that $1,000 mark, and then I can order the actual plaque and stuff. And one thing is, when you get to the point though, and you earn that award, you actually want to make a big deal on them getting the Melvin Jones Award. You don't want to just come, hey, I heard you got a Melvin Jones, hey, here's your award. Or like, hey, I found this out in the trash, here, it says your name on it. You want to make a big deal, because people sometimes are very flippant about it. Oh, we have somebody who has earned a Melvin Jones, oh, here's your plaque. These people usually do a lot of work to get to that point. They've not only, they financially made a donation, but they've also put a lot of hours, service hours in. Sure, like Mel can tell you, a lot of us, we don't just come to meetings. A lot of us do a lot of work outside the club. Sometimes my volunteer hours is over 100, almost 150 hours a month.
Sorry, I have to ask this, and I may be jumping the gun,
Yeah.
but I do realize you're going to talk about grant applications
Yes.
later. Is it okay, or do you have it on hand, a real example of how a matching grant is done with a collaborating partner organization that isn't a
I
Lions
think I
Club?
might have one of those pamphlets over there.
Because examples are really important to us, so we know how to coordinate and collaborate.
Mhm.
And also with LCIF, how to do that matching grant and present it to LCIF.
And you're bringing up some good points that we're gonna get to too. Also, on the other hand, the club can actually make donations or give a Melvin Jones to a member of their club who maybe hasn't not been able to make up the money for himself. And it's very important that you make a big, when you do these ceremonies of the year, like you really bring up the point how hard they've worked and how valuable they are to our club. I have actually donated Melvin Jones to other people in other clubs.
How many members can, like say you have $3,000 you want to donate to LCIF? So how many members can we,
Well, that's $3,000. You can do 3 Melvin Jones in that club. But you guys actually have over $12,000 in your account.
so that means,
You
but
guys, I
if we
think
only choose to give,
you can do how you want to do. You guys actually, in your unnamed account, you have over $12,000.
for us?
Yeah, for
You do?
SF Unifor again. Yes.
Wow,
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
you're rich.
Yeah. So you've been earning a lot. Like I said, you've been doing great jobs the last 3 or 4 years. You actually have money in there that you should use to recognize the people in your club. And you can make it a big ceremony, and either Lion Amy or myself can go out there, or Kevin Guest will be happy to come out there. But make it a big deal. And that's how you actually get other people to start getting more interested. They see that this is happening and they want to come and do it too. But yeah, your club has over $12,000 in unnamed funds that you have not used.
Wow.
San Francisco Highlands, you have $1,400. You have
How much?
$1,400. So you can do 1 Melvin
Yeah.
Jones there. Burlingame, and you have available for 3 people you could actually acknowledge. So. And when
Thank
you
This is helpful.
when you decide to do that, somebody from the district, either myself or maybe do it at your visitation.
Okay, and Mike, so that's actually shows up as the unnamed account,
Yeah.
the one like an individual.
And I
may
can show you
check
those
without-
numbers
Okay.
anytime you want to.
Okay.
That's the numbers I get every month. I get who's actually donated in this fiscal year.
Mhm.
And so there's some clubs here that are gonna need plenty of room for improvement this year. And one of our things we do every year, we wanna honor the district governor of that year. And so we go out there and we make sure every club has made a donation that year. So sometimes if we get to the end, we're getting down to 5 or 6 clubs that they just haven't done it, and we try to get everybody so that our governors are acknowledged at the end of the year. Okay, any other questions at this point? Sure, okay. So this year, what we've been doing in the past is, usually Lion, Amy, and I would usually have to go to a convention or some workshop at the beginning, coming up in, I think, August we're going. And they're gonna give us a target of what our goal is for our district. And every year they do that, and that's the number we're expected to make, and this year we did make our target. I think our original target was like $57,000, and we actually, did $82,000.
How much,
So,
I'm sorry?
we ended up doing $82,000. We surpassed our target pretty substantially. We got kinda lucky, cause we had a couple, go ahead.
And that's for the 4C4 target.
For our 4C4, yeah.
Yep.
We got lucky, 'cause we had a couple people come out. Brian Sheen came out in the beginning of the year, and this was at the time of the big fires this year. And so we had a lot of people who were interested in donating to the wildfire. So we had 2 meetings like that, and they did very well on the donations that time. So now, since we made that number, obviously the number they're gonna want is gonna go up for this
So do we
coming.
have a goal now?
They haven't told us yet.
Okay.
So in the past, what we've always done, like we know, obviously we try to promote it, we encourage everybody to donate. But usually we've been lucky, we have people in the district who actually financially can help more than others. So we relied on these people for many, many years, and it's worldwide the same situation. But now what they're trying to do is they're trying to get all the members in the clubs, the individuals, to start. Our campaign is to get them more involved in donating. So that's why this year, and so we have our goal we have to make, so Amy and I will figure out how much we need to, where the best places are for us to get that money. But now we have set our goals and what our plan is, so now here, you want the coordinators to do the same thing. You'll have a target for your club that you will make, and how you're gonna get to that goal. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So a lot of it is like, just basically is like, first off, like I was saying, educating. So how do you educate the people in your club? Well, one thing we have is, one thing, we have this vehicle right here. I'm not sure how many of you get the Lions magazines. If you actually browse through these, you'll find a lot of things that other clubs across internationally, everywhere, some of the projects and things they do to raise money or to help people, basically. Also, if you go online to LCIF, there are many, many videos that are just very inspiring to watch. So maybe, I didn't bring my computer today, but I would play one, if you get a chance at your meeting, to play some of these inspiring videos. That's how people start connecting where our money's gonna go. They don't know where the money's going. A lot of times they hear you hear these foreign countries and stuff going on, but they don't really relate to it all that well. It really wasn't until last year when we had the fires here in California that people got, this is our neighbors down south, and they were really, happy to help. The same thing happened with Ukraine also. That year we did very well because people saw what was going on there, and everybody just wanted to be helpful. So part of it is you educate. So we have videos, we have the magazine, you have us, your coordinators for the district, and you can call us anytime, you can email us anytime. We'll come to meetings for you. You should be basically on the agenda at all your meetings. That's what they tell us when we go to training, is that we should be on the agenda. And maybe you're not gonna do it every meeting, but you wanna make sure you make your pitch. Sometimes you can earn money the easy way. You just put the hat, pass the hat. Some simple stuff like that.
But you have to put first, as a collector.
You have to buy a hat first. And then you have to. But part of your thing is how can you raise money in your club without hurting anybody's feelings and trying to encourage people. You want as many people in your club to donate, but you don't want to. We know everybody doesn't have. A lot of people are retired. They're on limited incomes. So we have to remember that as we go along. Not everybody has the big dollars. So that's one thing you're going to do, how you're going to plan that out. And part of the thing is that you're connecting and communicating. Send me on, what's it, page 4 here? Yeah. Sophie, why don't you start? Read us part 1 here. What does the foundation do? Page 4. Yeah.
Page 4? Yeah, that's okay.
You got that?
Thanks to the commitment and dedication of thousands of Lions, LCIF granted more than US $1.2 billion to Lions service projects and partnerships around the world. The generosity of the Lions community has allowed LCIF to save site, support youth, provide disaster relief, and address a wide range of humanitarian needs.
So that $1.2 billion is since, I believe, 1968. So that's the timeline on that. And of course, back then, probably 100,000 went away a lot farther than it does now, but 1.2 billion in that time. Why don't you go, why is the foundation important?
Oh.
Now that you put food in your mouth.
Why is the foundation important? Lions Club International is the world's largest and most effective service organization. And Lions themselves are respected worldwide as the leaders in service. We serve with our clubs and make differences in each of our local communities. LCIF extends and magnifies that impact on a local and global scale and helps clubs and districts take on larger projects than they can do alone. LCIF is your foundation. It belongs to every Lion and empowers the service and impact of Lions everywhere. The success of LCIF is truly the success of every Lion.
Right. So, a lot of times we have a lot of smaller clubs that probably can't do a lot of big projects on their own. And one of the things is to pair up with clubs that maybe, I know like this year I think we're gonna ask the Redwood Shores Club to help with one of our PCL meetings and to go in with Foster City. To pair up with stuff you get, the more people you have working, usually the better results you have. I think it's, and Paul, why should Lions support LCIF? Next part.
There's nothing more central to bring a line and Rio than service. It's why we join. It is what we do. Through our support of LCIF, the foundation provides Lions the resources needed to take on the issues we we care about bringing about real and lasting change.
Right. So, one thing is like, we're all service oriented, I would think, more than anything. We like the fact that we go out into our neighborhoods, our communities, and we do stuff to help them. But when you hear about something happening, like when Tonga happened, we all can't go over there or help them. So sometimes that's the only choice we have, like times like that, is to actually to make our donations. And there are some instances on like when I think on the Paradise Fire where we're able to go up there and do a little bit more to help them. It was local, but most of the time we, usually within 72 hours, the Red Cross is there in most places, and they don't really want people. I know down in the fires and down south, they do not want people driving down there to actually do the physical work. So that's why a lot of times our really our recourse is to make the donations. I have you right here. Why don't you tell us about how does LCIF support local grants?
Does LCIF support local clubs through grants? Yes, LCIF has been supporting Lions service for over 50 years. Since 1968, LCIF has awarded more than 18,000 grants, totaling more than US $1.2 billion. LCIF has been supporting local communities through grants to districts and multiple districts. In 2018, LCIF launched an opportunity for Lions to support humanitarian activities in their communities through the District and Club Community Impact Grant Program, DCG. The program is available to both district and clubs. Under the program, 15% of unrestricted donations will be set aside for DCGs. Districts and clubs are required to meet a minimum donation level to enable 15% of their donation to be counted towards their available funds to be accessed through the DCG program. For districts, the minimum donation amount is $10,000 US per fiscal year. For clubs, the minimum donation amount is US $5,000 per fiscal year. And you can learn more about the DCG program on our website at lionsclubs.org/DCG.
Okay. So this is kind of, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so just, maybe just if you can translate that in English?
Yes, I was
So it
trying to
means, okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna do that?
In plain language.
Yeah, so what's that mean, like, one club's gotta donate at least 5,000 before they can apply?
So
for it?
my club last year, I mean, I was kind of bragging about them, but we donated $15,000 to LCIF.
They matched it also 100%.
No, that's not what what happens is, unfortunately, you don't get the 15% kickback, I call it, on that, because $5,000 we actually wanted put towards the wildfires. So by restricting that $5,000, you do not get the kickback on that.
But it has to be unrestricted.
Unrestricted, because this way they're free to use it where it's most important at that time.
Oh, wow.
Is it always 100% grant matching?
Depends on the grant, so,
Can I cite an example?
go ahead.
This has been happening since probably 2016, but this is from a different district. So my Federation of Philippine American Chambers of Commerce collaborate with the Phoenix Barangay Lions Club. And we come up with humanitarian missions to the Philippines and every year, and we're able to do more than 2,000 families at a time, like full-scale military-style operation. So that's why it really helps the LCIF. It really works, especially when you partner with Lions clubs from other countries as
Right.
well. Yeah.
So going back to that example of the St. Carlos Lions Club, so now 10,000 is unrestricted. So now you have the ability, it's not guaranteed, but you can actually apply
That's what
for a
I'm thinking.
grant.
That's what so we have $1,500 we can use
Oh,
towards.
you can, so it is okay.
And that money doesn't expire if you don't do it within that 1 year.
Right.
it can still build up until you find a
Okay.
good use.
But you have to write a formal grant proposal to get that.
Eventually, because when you write a grant, you have to, it's
Okay.
very specific what you want.
And so 15% is the kickback, whatever. But can you if you have a bigger project, let's say it's 5,000, it says $20,000, can you still write a grant for that? Or you have to donate more to have?
Usually they match what you have.
Oh, really? The 15%?
Yeah, almost.
Okay. And then for a club that.
But also, you can also use California Lions Foundation to actually even match some of that.
And then if there's a club that donated for LCIF in the year only 4,000, then they would not qualify for any
Yeah,
Right,
so
right.
that's the beginning point is $5,000.
And then, so that's the club level, then at the district level, is there another criteria or no?
Theirs starts at $10,000.
10,000.
Okay, at the district level,
Mhm.
okay, and when you say district level, doesn't all the money go up to the district, no? How's that work? So someone from the district council is making a donation, that's
Well, a
what?
lot of times, remember, people donate just randomly just to the district too.
Got it.
I think worth they're looking into
Okay.
to make sure, ask Amy where, how much money we got last year.
Okay,
And plus, they can ask to use our individual clubs' donations also.
got it, okay,
Kickback
so they have a
if they want.
separate bucket that
Yeah.
you can assign to, alright.
So there's different ways, and I do have a thing over
Mhm.
here that tells you
Uh-huh.
each grant's a little
Mhm.
bit different.
So then what about the situation like with the Paradise Fires or the fires in LA, that club didn't donate anything, but they got a need for like $1 million because of the needs down there? But they couldn't qualify to get money from LCIF?
So first off, when there is, we're getting a little bit far off where we're
Okay.
supposed to be, but thing is, say we had a fire here today.
Yeah.
Well, we had a San Bruno fire.
Mhm.
The first thing that happens is the district that's the home of contacts LCIF,
Okay.
and that's how the money is started.
Mhm.
So somebody has to actually get the ball rolling. It has to be the people from our district.
Mhm.
Now in Tonga, we had a problem with that because I don't think there were any Lions clubs in
Yeah.
Tonga.
Mm.
And so we ended up going to New Zealand, I believe.
Yeah.
We had to go through somebody else to get that started.
Mhm.
But it starts with our area.
Mhm.
So that's why as soon as it happened here, I mean, I'm sure Lion Ken was in contact automatically with them. And so at the beginning of a disaster, recuperation, whatever, all the money at that time is probably coming in, it's going right to that project. But you know, as gradually, as soon as they're settled, I mean, something else happens, so they start less emphasis on that one because they're going to the next group of people that need help. Now this year, our part of the agreement, I know Lion Kevin Guest is working at it, that they're monitoring the money that's spent on the wildfires down in LA.
Mhm.
And so everything's being reported, exactly what's spent and where it's going and everything. And they're telling us right now, it's probably gonna be 10 years worth of work.
Sure, yeah,
And so, I mean, please don't stop, you should still be, donating to the wildfires, it's not gonna go away. I mean, when they're talking billions of dollars in damage and,
Yeah.
I mean, they barely even started.
Okay.
They
So just, so to continue on that, with your example of the San Bruno fire, Ken contacted them, let's say the district only donated, 20,000 total.
But LCI probably donated a lot more than that though.
Okay, when you say
That's their donation to get stuff going here.
Okay, so there's a separate mechanism that'll determine,
the international-
disperse, $100,000, whatever.
Yes.
So then how's it work then, in the case with the San Bruno fire, if someone in Foster City or San Carlos or Burlingame says, hey, this LCF donation is specifically for the fire?
Right.
How does it get funneled, that people know like, okay, shit, there was like another 10,000 that
Well,
was
one thing
specific?
Well,
Mhm.
say you were, Burlingame wanted to donate to that fire.
Yeah,
Well, then we would put something in on your thing that is used for San Bruno fire only.
Designated.
And it's all designated for that.
and then that the local club, San Bruno Lions Club, then would receive the funds and they could do as
The city,
needs.
well, the city of San Bruno would probably tend to be the ones that
Oh, really?
use it.
Okay, so good.
I think where it's happening down south line, that they set up a mechanism where they can really check
Okay.
it off better than they have been in the past.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay,
Don't mind.
so anyhow, we have to get on to other stuff, because
Okay.
keep
This is
asking questions, it's
interesting.
okay.
Yeah, I just wanna see how it works, and then as far as on the grant.
Well,
side,
like I
this is,
didn't, they have this
right?
whole
Yeah,
thing
very
you're supposed to
important.
follow,
This
and
is
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not trying to really do that. Parts, so let's get on to part two, then we'll probably have more time at the end there to get some stuff done. We're connecting, communicating, what they mean there is, so what is your club, what is your group interested in? Some clubs are really into healthcare, some have other ideas of stuff that they want, like community. Like these are our main categories here that we deal with: vision, youth, disaster relief, humanitarian efforts, diabetes, childhood cancer, hunger, environment. So you want, as a coordinator, you're asking people how we want to get involved and raise some money. How can we? What is our interest here? What would we really like to see the money do? Do we want to concentrate on hunger? Is that something we want to target? Do we work on the hunger issues? Or are we childhood cancer, which Brian Mariah was a big help with that. So when you go to your club, you want to find out what their interest is. How do you think? What do they want? You want feedback from your club, and how much they want to get involved with this. That's the first thing is, and I think most of us, a lot of us, do the vision. I know this year our thing is to get a new vision screener, and our club does a lot with hunger. So there's different things in here that we can do Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt you, but don't forget to, did you get the email about multiplying the causes?
Wait a minute, no,
There's a new grant coming out where you, if it's a multiple cause grant,
okay,
so,
go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so,
You're asking a lot of questions, good questions, actually, very good
so
questions.
there's also now a multiple cause grant, so let's say you wanna do, you notice that more children right now who are in the middle of childhood cancer and they're going through treatment, they're losing their eyesight and they're becoming
Yes.
diabetic. Well, how can we team up vision, diabetes, and childhood cancer? Well, we have to remember that when all of us are sick and we're under doctor care, all we want are those foods that might not be quote unquote good for us. So kids come out of childhood cancer treatments and all they want are sweets and candies because they've been living in a hospital not having anything for years. So the childhood diabetic numbers are going up. As childhood cancer goes up, so did that. But because of diabetes and a lot of the drugs, they're losing their vision. So how can you find something to do with all three of those? And so LCIF is encouraging us to do that by, they just announced that starting July 1, there will be a multiple cause grant as well. And I'm really good at putting things together, so
Yes,
if you have any
she is.
questions,
And don't worry, I fund a lot of stuff through Mariah.
and two more causes will also be starting on July 1, and they do have grants available for them, and that is veterans and mental health.
And I think we're seeing a lot of need in the mental health area around us, really a lot. In
No
fact,
more
we have,
candy for the kids.
Well, we gotta separate the idea of good and bad,
Yeah, but that's,
you know?
sugar's bad.
Well, it's like, you know, let's help our eyesight and bone structure and teeth and have a carrot, but after you have a carrot, a small piece of candy. Or how can we add color to our plate without making it sugar?
and I go through that with, cause I'm the director of our caring cover in San Carlos. And sometimes there's snacky food and just like hard, like, no, I shouldn't really be giving this, cause like we're supposed to be getting as much nutritional food as we can.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Mhm.
a treat is
Yeah.
nice.
And anyone who has any kids or see kids in school these days, we no longer teach like the pyramid. They don't teach the food pyramid that we all grew up with, so it's totally different now. But I just wanted to check in, make sure you're here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm doing my job.
Well,
No, I didn't just come
they are
back
asking a lot of,
training.
I'm not sure I can get through all this, they're asking so
Okay.
many questions.
Good.
Which
Ask all the
a lot of
questions.
times no one asks, and that's why this is a good thing, I think.
No, please, ask all the questions, he's great.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah, my club has been and is focused on educating the youth.
Good.
We have put up a preschool, and it's not here in the States, but in the Philippines, in a village, far away from city, town, and all of that. So that has always been our focus, because in here, you know, you can draw a lot of help from the US to help people here. But from third world country, just like the Philippines, they have nothing. And so our effort is focused on that, and we have invested a lot.
And get other clubs around you to help.
Yeah.
Make the impact even better. Like I know you all know Uni Buckley, we know that. And they built 2 libraries over in the Philippines for the
Yeah.
kids, for books.
Yeah.
And our club, we donate a lot of books to her. I actually help run the Friends of the Library book sale in San Carlos every month. And so
Yeah, we built this school.
we send her boxes of books.
Yeah, we built this school, we bought the land,
Shipping costs.
and we have 55 students a year. Preschool, the hardest to educate are the preschoolers.
But the good thing is about this, like, to get information to other people, is some clubs don't have any idea, they don't have that passion yet, maybe. They hear, if you have a project, they might be happy to get involved. And that's what we use the PCL and the San Francisco Council meetings for too, is that people will come and they'll hear other ideas from other clubs, and they'll want to get involved. And so that's one of the benefits of the council. So anyhow, you're gonna find, hopefully your club's gonna find, they're gonna hopefully have a cause that they would like to see, that they'd like to promote. And maybe all they're gonna do is just say, hey, we're just gonna give $500 a year, and how can we raise that money for that? So not everybody's most clubs are not gonna be able to, collect $5,000 a year for any of this grant money. But there's also grant money available from the California Lions Foundation also, that you don't have those kind of restrictions on. So, what was that? So the thing is, you're going to your club, you wanna be on the agenda, you wanna get their ideas, cause you're gonna say, hey, last year this is how much money we donated, and we wanna increase our donation for this year, how can we do that? So what ideas would you guys have for something? What kind of ideas do you have to get Lions to donate in your club? You wanna do more fundraisers? Do you wanna do a specific, say you were into the hunger, you want to help with the hunger thing. A lot of clubs have, I'm not sure if you've heard Rise Above Hunger. A lot of clubs do that one there. It's not that expensive to do, and that's one way, and you can apply for the grants to do that project. We've done it several times. So is that something you want to get involved in? It's a very easy project to do, by the way. It's just very simple. And it gets a lot of people involved at one time.
And when we're doing that, usually it's at the district level? Is that what we usually do?
We've done it, Looney's
level.
done it at her club
Okay.
level. John Huey's done it at the district level. You probably need 40 or 50 people usually, but that's a good way to get people to come out and just, for a couple hours. A lot of community, a lot of camaraderie, and that's
And
kind of.
so at those events, I haven't been to one of those events, but then you also do turn to a little fundraising event as well then? Is that what you do? You say?
Well, basically what it is, the money is that you've already fundraised to do the program. I think it
Okay.
costs about $3,000, $3,500.
Just the education and inspiration of
Yeah.
the results of
So,
it.
some clubs collaborate with other clubs, and they'll each do a piece of the cost of it.
Mhm.
And I think we applied to the
Right.
California Lions grant, and so it ended up covering the whole thing. And then the get-togethers, when at that
Mhm.
point is when you actually do the actual project, and you could do enough to feed about 10,000 people in about 2 hours. Okay. So you're gonna set a goal, so your club, let's see who's on here. Let's say Burlingame, I'll pick on you today. So this year you guys donated $1,200.
Mhm.
Not bad. Not bad. So so now you're clubbing like this is what we did last year. How can we get that level up to 1,500 or
Mhm.
2,000? How many members do you have in your club?
40?
40?
Yeah.
So can you get $20 every member? It's 40 times $20 is $800. I mean, I think they prefer the people who got up to the $50 mark, because then there's a special banner thing that your club did that. Our average donation on our club this year was $100 per person. So that's kind of unusual too, though. So how do you get that number up to 1,500? For one thing, I'm not sure how many clubs here do the Excellence Award. I'm not sure how many actually apply for it every year. But one of the requirements this year is that a $20 donation per member is required to qualify. Now your club treasurer can write a check for everybody in the club, but that's an extra thing they have, and that's not saying they're trying to get where more people are donating, more people are involved in the process. Somebody have a question on that? So it's when you're setting your goals, you're gonna come back, you're gonna go to your club, this is what we did last year. And also, you guys, we have 3 Melvin Jones we can help. We should probably decide on how we wanna handle those and when you wanna do that. And then you wanna figure out how much can our club afford to do this. You don't want it all come out of your club treasuries. It's better if some of it comes from other people, the individuals beside. One thing we've done in our club is over the last 3 years, that we had money in our club, we weren't really spending money, like you said, we weren't really spending money. And so what I propose is that to the treasury and the club is that we wanted to donate $70 a member that year to the LCIF. So what we did, the club treasurer they paid the first half $35, and the other $35 per member. What we did is we had 4 dinners during the year, and we normally usually charge $20 for our dinners. And what we did is on those 4 dinners, we actually potlucked it. But everybody still paid the $20 for that dinner, and we raised that additional funds for that.
And so the funds from the club, in your example, was it come from the admin fund or from the other fundraisers you did?
It's fundraising.
Fundraising,
Mhm.
okay, so in the fundraising bucket,
Mhm.
you basically, the treasurer and the board.
But we want the
agree-
club to be more involved with the whole process of
Okay.
them keep participating
Okay.
and getting that number up.
Mhm.
So this year, like I said, our number this year was over $100 per person.
Mhm.
By the time everything was. So what ideas would you guys do? Would you do more fundraisers, or what would you propose to your club?
We fundraise from our members.
Right.
They go,
But you can also fundraise out to the public, though. Do you,
Right,
you do a
they-
crab feed, then you can, you can designate some of the money to LCIF.
yeah, we ask them for donation, but then they can go out
Right.
to their friends. You know, if they're business people, they can easily get from their
Mhm.
friends some donation.
Yeah, for our tri-tip dinner last year, we put on our promotions that $5,000 or more was gonna go to the LA fires.
Mhm.
And so people came and and didn't even come to dinner, they just gave us money.
Yeah.
And when you gave it to the LA Fires, you basically did the LCIF donation with the restriction
It
of
was,
LA
it was
Fires.
restricted.
Okay, not to confuse you, but not the California Lions Foundation.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Don't wanna talk about that foster child?
You know, well, I mean, in California Lions, they do a great job.
Okay.
Or They do.
Got it.
But yeah,
Okay.
but sometimes even some of our members, like they'll write you, because maybe they had family in Tonga when that happened,
Mhm.
and they wanted to go to that specific thing. Some people do have a specific place they want to go to,
Okay.
and we should follow through on the request.
Just for the sake of information, why do we have a California Lions Foundation?
That's just what MT4 started, that's
Keep
what,
Mario busy.
keep Mario busy, I think it's more to, help in California with the
Yeah.
things that happen in that state.
They wanna keep it local, right?
It
So
keeps
you
it
know,
more,
if you go-
keeps it more localized, keeps it more
Yeah.
and we are a big state, and,
Yeah, same reason your club probably wants to keep everything like in the town.
Yeah.
Right, and it's Delta
Oh,
State.
why we have our own foundation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep it more localized, more specific to what your needs are. But MD4 is a big district, and actually, it's usually one of the top districts in the whole
Mm.
world as far as for LCIF. They do a great job on that. So like I said, part of your thing is to set a goal though, so we don't get off track too much. And you go back and say like, I can give you your information, what you've done this year.
Mhm.
Say, how can we get better? Do we wanna do another fundraiser? Maybe you're gonna do a bingo night instead or something that may get up a few $100s, or are you gonna do the thing where you pass a hat during the meeting and people can, I'm looking for a lion cookie jar to bring to our meeting, just put there, so people can,
We did casino trick.
yeah, that's exactly, it could be something simple. Actually, at the beginning of COVID, what we were gonna do at the beginning of COVID was, we bought 100 tickets to a Giants game, and we got the tickets like for $10 each, so we were gonna charge people 30, and that additional 20 would have gone to our Giants. Of course, it didn't happen because they didn't play baseball,
Mhm.
and eventually, after a couple years, they had to refund us our money, but just that's something, one way you can do, you just have a Reno trip, you can have some other small fun event to do, or just,
Mhm.
Did you say earlier that the donation is a write-off?
you can put on your deduction,
We're not 501c3.
we are though, we are.
The
Well,
district is-
LCIF is.
Our
is.
club is,
your
Well, how about
club-
the LCIF?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah.
So if we're doing a canned food drive and we put out a cookie jar that's specifically for LCIF, and if people wanna write a check for $100 to LCIF directly, how do we get them, cause when they write it to our club, we give them a thank you letter and there is our
Okay.
tax ID number for their write-off.
Okay,
So if they write a check directly to LCIF at the grocery store to give it to us, how do we furnish them with a write-off for that? How does that part work?
Are you 501c3?
Our club is,
Yeah.
but they're writing the check to LCIF directly.
they can actually write it to your club for
Yeah.
that.
And then we could tell them it'll go to
And you
LCIF.
write me a check. out of
But in your
account.
example, I think if you write to LCIF, they have, if they're a 501c, they've got their own tax ID and their checks to receipt. So they'll just tell their CPA that, hey, this is my donation for the year.
Yeah.
And if they ever get audited, it says
They
LCIF.
need that tax ID number for their.
Well, yeah, they can write it down, but no one's gonna, when you do your tax return, it's just for the CPA, no, it's a legit. But you know this one's legit, so it's not like.
Just not the cash donation,
No,
because there's no
check,
receipt,
a
yeah.
check.
Yeah, it's hard, if you're getting their cash donations, why?
So
you wanna write
LCIF's
them?
501c3 tax ID number is public information,
It's
right?
probably public.
Yeah.
So we can just give it to them right there, we can just,
Yeah,
Mhm.
or they can, like I said, they can write it to your club and then you just,
Yeah,
I think
it's a check.
people would be more like excited about writing it directly to, like, I think it would be easier to,
It is easier, but the only thing is, you won't get the credit as a club.
right.
Yeah.
So then you can have that unrestricted bucket, that all of a sudden you've got, $500 worth of things towards your.
So they can just write the check to the club and in the memo put LCIF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Because if they're running LCIF, well, that's just going to the
Okay.
general fund. You guys want as much as you can, produce yourself. There are different ways you can donate, a lot of people can donate online. Did I put this out there? Remind them.
Yeah.
What happens when you donate through a telethon?
Well, I think when you do, I think they ask you for your information, you have to put your member number in there.
That's why I'm curious, because.
I think you put your member number, that's why you should always have your membership number. And a lot of those times you're pledging anyhow, and then you're probably gonna have to pay it on a future date. You can also, you can do pledges online. Everybody in your club can do a pledge. So maybe that's one way you do it at your club meeting is have everybody make a pledge for the year. Maybe they're only gonna save $10 or $20 a piece, but the fact that you can say, hey, we have $200 in pledges,
Then collect it.
and collect it, yeah. They could also do the pledge stuff online also, but if we can do in-house, we can make sure it get credited to you. And they also can use the mail. There's an address here for people can mail their donations.
Our difficulties in asking money from our friends, is that they always ask you, are you a 501c3? And we said, no, we're
But we are.
not. But that's our.
My club is.
That's our hurdle.
I think, Sophia, you guys are you?
Yeah, that's why we also have
Wanna
the same
become-
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the same problem, we don't.
Yeah,
have-
we're trying to get you on it though.
Yeah, we're trying now.
Yeah, we are trying to get you guys to do
I
that.
think you're helping us.
I think the first thing you have to always do is you have to contact International to get the ball rolling on that.
Or to,
But we are working with his club on
Yeah,
that.
and the other benefit too is if you do become a 501c3
Mhm.
and you register, some of the donations of your friends who work at any company around
They
here,
can
most of them
match
have
it.
a match.
They
So
can
you
match.
just double it.
And we do
So that
have,
helps a lot too with them.
so that's a question you should bring to your people when when you're talking about it, asking people in your club, does your company you work for have a matching fund? That's something you probably should.
mm,
So I know like Scott Marshall's was our club, he works for Genentech, and I think they match him almost $2,000 a year.
Really, that's it? For Genentech?
Well, for the one organization.
Yeah, but you.
For that's for his
Okay.
portion. They're matching what he puts in.
Okay. Yeah.
He's matching what he, so if he puts donating 1,000, they're
Oh,
getting,
but the cap is higher then, you're
No.
saying?
yeah.
Oh, okay, just
Yeah.
what he, the donate,
Yeah.
okay.
But he donates to a lot of
Because
stuff.
usually the corporations have like $10,000 or 20, yeah, up to whatever. Yeah, by the way, B of A is 10,000, Wells Fargo, which I work for, is only 4,000. Yeah, you
Oh.
voted it.
So that is one way to get,
For Matt.
to find out from your members, start knowing your members better, is, hey, you work for Genentech, don't you have a matching
Corporate grant?
corporate
yeah,
matching?
they do, they do.
So that means, and you're gonna get bigger money, you're gonna get bigger dollars that way, you're gonna get the $500 donations, and really.
The hard part is you have to produce.
We have about 4 people that do it for us, and they're substantial.
Oh, yeah.
But that's an
Yeah,
easy, if you
nobody
can find those
exactly,
people,
Yeah.
if you can find those people, like, he can get 4,000 from Wells Fargo.
First time we did from Genentech, we got 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
matching.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a good way to get
Okay.
the fellow, people in your club
Mhm.
involved is, how many you have matching funds for your work, and that should be a question you ask people.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of people who have more tech people in their club. There's a lot more in those industries. I mean, I'm not sure about the healthcare so much, but that's a place you can start. So anyhow, we want you to try to get a plan from your club, set up a goal, so you're gonna try for $1,500 this year donation, and see where it goes from there. Maybe it only includes having only one extra fundraiser or something every year. And it could be, like you said, you go on a trip to the casino, and the people are having fun doing it.
Mhm.
It's good camaraderie, and
Build liability, the
Like, is LCF also set up to receive stock
transportation.
yes,
donations?
there are different ways you
I don't
can
know what to
do.
do.
There's also a lot of stuff with the Lcif program, I think I handed that out too, though. If people can make money in their wills and everything, and
Okay.
the
Oh,
stocks,
yeah.
Any more questions on that? So that's me one of your, homework things is to start working on setting a goal. And be
With our
creative,
clients.
and see what your club say, yeah, you know, I thought we're gonna bake cookies one day, we're gonna sit out in front of the church here where we meet, and we're gonna, sell cookies, or something simple like that. But really, if you have 30 people in your club, and you need to do $20 per person for the year, or minimum, that's $600, it can be some small fundraiser you can get that money from.
Okay. Yeah, I never actually thought of that. I used to basically just send an email and actually talk to people just to get a check or cash from them. Yeah, I realized, that you could actually come from the fund and have the budget approved that X amount will come from it, or have a fundraiser for it. Okay, so now I know, all right, different venues do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit easier.
I think we forget about the matching funds from the employers. We do, I
We
think.
do.
And
Yeah,
my
remind me.
company wasn't really big.
I think that's how we got some of our 12,000.
Mhm.
We had one member who was really good at doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what some people do out there in the big world. They go. That's why they go after those big corporations. They get the money quick.
Yeah,
Big, you know.
big corporation.
I'm got a feeling we're gonna be $100,000 is probably gonna be our goal, our target for this year coming up. So we're gonna, and we have done that before, by the way. We have had years where we've done very, very well. We get, somebody leaves us a nice donation or. So the thing is, I know it says, I'm ready to ask my fellow Lions to support LCIF. And so I know it's hard sometimes asking people, especially if you're in a community that maybe isn't well off, to ask them for the extra $10, $20. But every $10 or $20 does count. We want to make people realize that we appreciate that, so. And let's see, every Lion is asked to consider a minimum donation of $100 per year. Well, if we can get it, that's fine, but we have to be grateful for what we do get.
Yep.
And we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, when we're asking. And everything goes towards the Melvin Jones or Progressive Melvin Jones Scholarship. If you do have, I'm not sure with your club that much, but I had a few people in my club that never would have gotten Melvin Jones. It's just, financially, it just was not, they're seniors, they're living on a small retirement. So I made, through the years, what I've done is, as we have money for Melvin Jones, I made sure to point them out and make a presentation to them. And I've had people cry.
Mike, do you have a record of who's received a Melvin Jones?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good to know.
So anytime, any of you, I can even show you here later today, but actually, our plan this year is Amy and I to go to one of us go to each club. And that is something to bring up, because I don't think you've had a lot of people from your club be Melvin Jones over the year. But we can find out maybe some of your old timers who have not ever received one.
Okay.
And one thing is, I know with Pacifica, they had no idea they had money in their accounts. And I go, the last time you did a Melvin Jones was in 2007. 2000. I go, are those people still alive? And so, but we and so we found people that had been around for a long time, and they made the donations to. So that's people feel good when they're getting that award up there, when they're being recognized. Everything's not being we all like to do service and anything, but really people like to be recognized that they have put the time in and stuff also. We need you to introduce yourself.
Lionel Linda Cruz, San Francisco's Lions Club.
Okay.
Current president going up.
Okay. So is there any certain things questions you have or ideas or things you want to know about?
I'm sorry, this is the first time I attended the training.
Well, they all have to. It's the first time they're doing it
First
too.
time, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know exactly what to expect.
Well, the thing is, as an LCIF coordinator, you're working with your team, your Lions, to raise funds for our main foundation, which is the LCIF. And so we want to educate people to know what the LCIF does and how they personally can help and get their feedback on what things they're really interested in. Every club, like some of our clubs actually automatically have something they're interested in because they're set up as healthcare. They have, or the Bay Area realtors, they already have something they're focused on. But a lot of clubs are just very generic and what's Burlingame really interested in?
I think youth programs and, youth environment and youth mostly.
So what's your club really interested in? You guys make a lot of money though. You do a great job at it, whatever you're doing.
Vision.
We have a variety of members. Some just like to give.
Mhm.
Others like to do service projects, but we really want to have more member engagement. So that's why we're listening carefully to everybody to see how we can engage more members.
Right, this is a way, because you find something everybody has in common. What's that common feature that they really, besides service? The thing, I think sometimes we limit, our club used to say, well, nobody needs anything in San Carlos. You know, it's considered a well-to-do. You know, I go, but you have to realize too that our community is not just San Carlos, it's San Mateo County, and it goes out to Caseta, and it gets international, so we shouldn't be so much that we're only gonna do stuff within our city limits. And that's why I know a lot of clubs, when they were helping Tonga over in Bear Island, everybody jumped on board and helped them. It was a big thing at that time. So about the question, ideas, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna matching funds for work, additional fundraisers.
And Mike, you're also tracking, because I know our club, also in September when you guys had that fundraiser, I think it was like another $3,000 that people wrote directly to LCIF when.
They went, but they were probably from other clubs also though. Was it-
Oh, I thought it was direct, because that's what I was told by President Michael.
If you made, somebody made a donation at that event,
Yeah.
I believe Amy put it towards the club. I made
Really?
the
Okay.
donation.
I
I can check on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what she did.
I don't know if the district has done this, but have you had one day, let's say in September, wherein you have everybody in the district, every club in the district, do an LCIF event in their local clubs, but it's all done in one day.
So like a white cane event day?
Something like that, anything, but it doesn't matter what you're going to do that day, but could you do an
I think
LCIF?
I've brought this up a few times, but I understand what she's saying.
Mhm.
But we thought about doing it, so, yeah, the last day in September, whatever, last Saturday in September, is everybody would do something as a fundraiser for LCIF that day in their own club. And I thought about what I think we thought we would do, or something like that, is then we would gather someplace later in the day, like for dinner or something.
And celebrate.
And
yes.
celebrate. So that's one thing we've been trying to, we haven't really ever got where we actually got to that point, but I think that's a really good idea.
Too many coordinators, no coordination.
Yeah, I know.
So theoretically, we have 55 clubs and 55 coordinators.
Sister Day, Mother Day, Jesus Day.
But that's also,
A one day service.
it could be one day, it
day,
could be one day LCIF survey.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I will bring up and maybe we'll try it again. But we even thought, or even do it by region or something, they do their, maybe the 6 regions, each one of them does something for that day for LCIF. And then everybody gathers later on in the day over either at Burlingame Hall or the place we go for Mariah's, and they all get together and celebrate. See who took in the most money,
San Francisco also we have annual dinner and dance,
okay?
yeah.
But there's a-
And last year we started the medical mission, so this year, next year, this year, January was in the province of, what is that? I work a lot, but anyways, next year, January will be in the Beacon region. We do medical, vision, tooth extraction, and circumcision also.
But, so I think, you know, that's a good idea here, that maybe we can set a day for LCIF, everybody, or if they don't do it that day, they bring their feedback and tell us what they did for that day. Now, one of my districts down in Visalia, that area, what they do every year for Vision is, they do a night out of the darkness, and so they actually do a dinner and everything to run for the Vision. It's in total dark though.
Oh, yeah.
All
That's a good one.
all it is basic
I don't know
candle.
about that one.
They make a lot.
There are some restaurants that do
They
that.
they make a lot of money.
Dine in the dark.
Basically, so I mean, but that's why we need people to come up with ideas. And I think that's a great thing. Maybe we can work on the thing for everybody, pick a date, and maybe we'll bring it up the first cabinet meeting and tell them the date, and we can start planning from that. Anything else?
That would be really good,
But
one day.
Even if it didn't make a lot of money, just the fact that people were doing
Yeah,
something for
a
the same,
memorable
for
event,
the big
yeah,
cause.
dinner.
You know, I don't know. All you can do is there are people out there. I think a lot of people would do it. But you can pair up with other clubs. You know, maybe have to do everything one-on-one. That's why I say maybe the zone or regions could kind of, maybe they could be part of the thing that they do. They coordinate for their own regions and everything like that. Anything else for you guys? What other questions? Last year I had a group that didn't say one word.
Oh.
Last year I had a group nobody said anything.
Oh, training group.
Yeah, so anyhow, you're going back, I think the telethon, just getting the information on that. Just so you all see update. I think a point to bring back to everybody is that 100% of everything goes to the LCIF. Most of the stuff is in your booklet there. They're gonna give you a few more ideas of things you can do to raise money. How many
Raffles. also,
raffles?
yeah.
Well, whatever opportunities, is that what it is? No, it's not
Isn't
raffles.
there a raffle law?
Well, that's why they call it something different now.
What is
They
it?
call it a special drawing.
Drawing or
Special draw.
opportunity
Oh,
drawing.
Right.
Is that what it is?
Don't call it a raffle.
You guys do.
Oh.
That's why I don't call it a raffle.
But you know, at your club meeting, you could have an item you could raffle off at your club
Yeah.
meeting.
I raised 500, over 500 last year
Special
for
drawing.
every meeting we have. Or the health fair we did, giving flu shot and, the vaccine. I have all collected some gifts and I have it sell ticket and donate $500. Oh,
Okay, they're still asking a lot of questions.
Oh.
They're doing a great job, actually.
Okay.
A lot more feedback than I thought, so. Hopefully it's gonna help out at the end. One thing they brought up, Ryan, maybe, and you can help since you're here, is they wanna designate, like a weekend for the district where people do LCIF projects for that
We
day.
will. So, it's slowly
Well,
rolling out, however, please note that a new initiative by USA Lions, and if you are not following USA Lions on Facebook, please do. It's a new group. Every other country has their own big group, now we do too. And we are going to be doing what we call service carnivals. That's the carnivals. And the idea is that we bring together all the clubs in a district, we go to one location, and we do service. One group could be in a park, and one group could be off picking up trash, one group could be doing ice screenings, one group could be building something new. I mean, we use whatever global causes we can, and we do something with everyone in one day. And your service, the incoming global service chair will be the one to make sure all that happens, and Council Chair Kevin Gass.
Quick question on that one. I have seen this kind of service days done by a district, but they don't necessarily gather together. They just agree to do a service project.
So
on the same
this
day.
is the service carnival idea that we already are designated from international to get money to do hopefully do this year, means that we all go to one spot and we do service in that spot. Now, we could be doing 4 different global causes. We could do environment, diabetes, vision, youth, what am I missing? Hunger, all at once, but in the same spot.
I have a question regarding
Yeah.
that. You know, this district is made out of like San Mateo clubs, and we have San Francisco clubs. And if you're going to do a San Mateo County location, we in San Francisco would feel, hey, what about us?
That's why we're planning 2.
Mhm.
We're planning one for the northern part of our district and the southern part of our district. But in order to really make these successful, us down here in the southern part of the district have to go to the northern one, and those in the northern part have to come down to the southern. And that's what we're gonna do. Please note that the incoming governor team understands that there's this huge division in our district. And we don't know what to do about it, but we want to help fix the division and remind us all that we may have 2 groups because of location, but we are one district. We no longer will be we're trying really hard to not go, okay, San Francisco Council people or Peninsula Council people, District 4C4 Lions.
I have one more comment. The best alternative to no agreement would really be not to do a service carnival and just do a service project on that one day throughout the whole district.
Well,
Yeah.
I hear you, just know
Yeah.
that this is an initiative coming from International.
Okay.
So, we have to follow with their rules.
Let's see how it goes, yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean,
It's
you
gonna be
can,
something new for all of us.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's a
And
great idea.
we will be at both of them, so it
Yes,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
I will be at both of them with real shoes on and ready to get down and dirty. Because I don't believe that a title means you can't do service. If I'm not willing to do service, well, how can I expect my district to do service?
Correct.
So
That's
I'm
true.
willing to dig a hole and get muddy. I mean, I'd rather be muddy than dress up anyway, so, perfect for me. But yeah, no, so that's the new one.
Okay, that's great, thank you. If anybody else have any other questions, you've done a great job. You have a little homework to do to go out to your clubs and see how they wanna support LCIF this year through projects and finances. Hopefully a
Example of a
combination
grant.
and apply for grant. So I
Yes.
did, Amy didn't give me enough of these here, but this here is more about,
Sorry, Lion.
these here are more about all the grants right
Yeah.
here. If you wanna take this one here. This is,
Oh,
this
thank
is
you.
different. Okay? So part of your homework is go out there, try to figure out some way. You can email me with your questions, and if you do get a plan, let me know. Paul, I will see you on Tuesday, so I know you'll do it on Tuesday. You can go take a picture of that. Remember different things, these things in this magazine people have already done. There's some great ideas that people have done all across the country, all across the world.
Yeah.
This is a little bit, this one here is a little bit a simpler version, smaller. I think there are extras here if you want to take them to your clubs. There's a few extra there.
We want to discuss this.
You guys were great. Anything else? Any other questions? You guys are good?
It's 11:43.
Yeah, what's for
Yeah,
lunch?
You only got 2 minutes. You could stay here all day. I don't care.
It's a nice school.
I think we're done.
Actually, he's playing this playground